The man making $200,000 plus per year, but didn't have his TSFA maxed out, and the nasty tax slip that came along with it.
Yes. So had a recent meeting with a gentleman. He's trying to figure out, can I retire? Have I put away enough money? He's in his mid-50s, but he could live for another 40 years. So he wants to make sure with the funds he's put away. And so he brought me a really nice spreadsheet, which I love spreadsheets, not to sound like a nerd, but he was very organized, which I like. And I mean, if you're not organized, that's okay too. We help you get organized if you're not. But the thing that stuck out the most for me is, we have a husband and wife where combined between the two of them, less than $20,000 in tax-free savings accounts, a large sum of money in a non-registered GIC.
Oh boy.
Which is going to generate a large tax slip,
bill. Yeah.
Which is going to happen for their 2025 tax return because the GIC is just coming up for renewal now. I said, well, we're going to do some planning, but the fact that your incomes, and the crazy thing is the income is just in the husband's name. He makes about $200,000 a year, and the wife makes less than $30,000. So I said, okay, well, time out here. The GIC is going to come due, and your interest income is going to be almost $30,000. You're going to have to add $30,000 of income on top of the $200,000 that you're already making. So you're already just at the 50% tax bracket. So now we're going to put $30,000 more on top of that. And you're going to be paying 50% tax. So, okay, great, the bank is paying you $30,000, but you're gonna give half of that to the government. A few things that could be avoided. And again, this is somebody that deals with a large financial institution, has a financial advisor, came to me for a second opinion because there are a couple little things that have happened. He's like, I don't know if the individual I'm dealing with right now is the right person to help me get through, get me to retirement and help me with the plan. So a lot of times people come to see us for a second opinion. And I said, well, there's a few little blunders here. Your TFSA, you should not have that amount of money locked up where it's not liquid, right? Emergencies happen, life happens.
Accessibility.
So maxing out both yours and your wife's tax-free savings, that's first and foremost. And if you really wanted to do a non-registered account, why wouldn't you put your wife's name on it? You've been married for 30 years and you own a home together and properties. At least if you owned it jointly, then that almost $30,000 of interest income, she can put half on her tax return and pay at a much lower tax rate, and you put half on your tax return. So just some very basic financial planning things that, somebody that's what's the proper word? Just a proficient, adequate financial advisor should be able to do.
Right.
So it's small, but this gentleman,
well done.
and he felt embarrassed. And I said, time out. Like, the onus is not on you. Right. There is a professional that's, taking courses, that just hasn't done the proper planning for you. It's not your fault. This gentleman's, he's in a skilled trade where I'm not allowed to hang up picture frames at my office. I'm not good with a hammer and a nail. I can't imagine trying to do, this gentleman's an electrician, has, I'm sure, a difficult job. I can plug things into the wall. That's it. I don't touch anything electrical. That is not my forte. So I say, I'm like, I wouldn't even attempt to try and do your job. So that's okay. That's why you have people that specialize. The unfortunate part is that there's somebody that should be doing what's in this gentleman's best interest. And I don't know if it's a lack of knowledge or what the issue is. Right. But at the end of the day, I've uncovered a few areas where I can definitely help this gentleman and his wife and help them be on the right track so that they can retire. So the whole point of us doing these podcasts is, I say all the time, you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
So just taking a closer look at your own investments, and yes, you might have a financial professional and you think that they're competent and you think they're doing a good job. Sometimes there's little tweaks that can be made. So sometimes a fresh set of eyes can really make a world of difference.
Okay, so let's kind of switch topics a little bit here. In dealing with a financial professional that may be working with a large chain bank, what would be the questions that a client could ask to ensure that they're getting the best service? What would be a question that, as a client walking in to speak with a financial representative from a bank, to ensure that they are getting on the right track to retirement?
I would ask them, can you have an actual written retirement plan? A lot of times people come to see me, they have, a lot of RSPs, a lot of tax-free savings, but they don't have a clear articulated written plan. So I think having a plan, if you have investments, if you have a tax-free savings that isn't maxed out, looking and saying, okay, are you carrying a larger sum of money as a balance in your bank account? Can you shift that money? Do you have a non-registered or open account? Can you be adding to that? We talked at the beginning about group plans. Asking your professional at the bank, I have a group plan. Could you take a look and let me know based on my risk tolerance, am I in the right funds?
Right.
Right? I think a lot of them, due to compliance issues, are probably not going to be able to answer those questions for you. But I think each individual bank has their own rules. But I think you want to look and say, okay, is this person going to be the one? We've had this conversation before about, people can help you accumulate your money and get you to the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. But then when you're at this peak where it's like, okay, I've worked all these years, I've amassed this wealth. How am I going to get down the other side of the mountain? How am I going to take money out, not unnecessarily pay too much tax, live and enjoy myself? What does that look like? Is that professional still the right person to help you do that?
Yeah, you might be working with one person that might be able to get you to the top of that mountain as far as savings and investments, but are they the right person to be able to help you decumulate your assets?
Yeah.
That's something I've learned being with Lynn for a long time, because nobody ever tells you that. And I repeat this like all the time to people I talk to about finances. Nobody ever tells you that at some point you need to start taking that money out.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Or it's going to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
So,
and being efficient about it.
Yeah, so decumulation's so important, and it's something that nobody talks about.
Yes.
Like my entire time growing up, it was always about savings, RRSPs, investments, savings, RRSPs, investments. But nobody ever looked at me and said, at some point you're going to have to take that money out because it could bite you in the rear end when it comes to taxes when you're retiring.
And just working with someone that's a specialist. So a lot of financial planners are generalists, and I was a generalist for a number of years, right? Someone came in, they wanted to talk to me about saving for a house, great. Or they needed to have some life insurance to, cover their family if something happened to them, do some savings for retirement, talk about estate planning. And it wasn't until a few years ago where I said, okay, this is a space that I really want to work in and specialize in. The clients that I'm working with are retired or are within 5 to 10 years of retirement. That's a space I really want to work in. And I've had clients come in and say, I have a 25-year-old living at home. They're trying to save for a house. Will you work with them? And I politely say, I won't, because that's not the space that I'm working in right now. But I do have a younger advisor in my office, and that's who she's spending her time working with. So I think the key is looking and saying, okay, as a person that you're working with, are they going to be specializing in this area? This is going to be a whole new chapter in your life that you're going to have to deal with. That's where I'm spending my time now.
So remind us again, what are the 5 designations that you have that makes you a specialist, and why should it matter to people?
Okay, so I have my CFP, Certified Financial Planning designation. That's probably the most recognized designation across the world. I have my Certified Life Underwriter designation, and that's an advanced tax planning designation to help people that are trying to, it helps with some business owners, more complex income tax cases, if somebody wants to leave money to charities. So that definitely helped me a lot there. I have my EPC Elder Planning Counselor designation, so it's working with the 50 plus demographic. I have my Master Financial Advisor designation specializing in pensions and benefits, so that, people that have pension plans, helping them with the decumulation of getting money out of registered plans. And the last one is Certified Executive Advisor. So basically when somebody passes away, there's up to 17 professionals you may have to deal with: accountant, lawyer,
real estate people.
Yeah, so just helping so that when somebody does pass away, just making things a little bit easier for their family, hopefully helping them to not have to pay as much in probate fees. Those are the 5 designations I have.
Sounds like you're the complete package, and definitely a retirement specialist, like from charity planning all the way to executive planning and dealing with all the professionals when somebody dies. Wow. Pretty impressive.